Listen, America, like Australia, was built on rugged individualism, right? And we're moving,
not collectivism.
No, it's we prided ourselves for not being Russia, not being communist, for not being right. And now we are moving toward that at lightning speed. We can't dive in fast enough. So
before you pull the trigger on that, I wanted to ask you about something that I was actually debating whether or not to do that report here today, but this is kind of part of it, so I'll do it here. So Joe Biden came out the other day with I don't know, he had some rainbow thing at the White House or some shit like that. There's rainbow flags in front of the American flag.
Yeah.
Like, what? Get rid of that shit, man. Like, we put them side by side, but put the American flag in front. That's what, and so they're breaking the rules to do with all of that shit, right?
There is no need for that pride flag. Oh, but we want to be represented. Everybody's covered, man. Everyone's covered by the American flag.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. We accept you all. It's okay. It's cool, right? We don't need that flag. We understand that you want to put it out there and do that. Cool. No worries. But you're still covered under.
You put it in the corner.
Anyway.
Put it in the fucking corner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in his speech there, he talks about how they come out with this message, these speech writers and these political writers, and it's got nothing to do with the actual day. It's got everything to do with the agenda. And he's saying, your kids are our kids. Yes. And your children are our children. And your children are loved by everybody and by the government. And so what he's doing is he's inserting collectivist language into the lexicon to say that your kids are no longer your kids, they're our kids.
Yeah.
They're the state's kids. Yeah. And we'll take them away from you because we determine how those children should be raised. And you say it all the time, you kind of got to go over to the stable, not very far away, to get onto your high horse to say that schools are indoctrination systems. They're not actually education places anymore. That's right. And and so they're doing that. They're indoctrinating children. But who is doing that? The state is doing that. And when the leader of the state comes out and says, your kids are our kids, we love your kids just as much as you love your kids. It's like you're inserting that communist Marxist manifesto into the American lexicon. And I'm just looking at that, just thinking, this is like, I don't know, man, this is George Orwell, 1984, Animal Farm, Karl Marx. Like, what's going on, man? And people are just like completely like oblivious. Oh yeah, whatever, man. Like, who gives a shit?
Well, the liberals have been quietly doing that for generations now, but now they feel like they're emboldened enough to say it openly that your children are our children. That tells you, okay, they feel like they've hit critical mass. They feel that like there's enough support out there. People, yeah, well, it makes sense to me, yeah. And
do you think there's a bunch of people out there saying, all right, you can have them. Good luck with that. Let's see how that works out for you, you fucking moron.
There were times when my kids were growing up when I might have been tempted to say, you take them.
You come across someone and say, have you got kids? No, I don't have any kids. You want one of mine? I've been trying to get rid of them for like 15 years. I can't get rid of the fucking things. Yeah. That's funny. All right, let's have a look at your report, eh?
All right. Good. Okay, so who wants CBDCs and why? So let's talk about it. Okay, so every major central bank in the world have created their own CBDC. CBDC stands for Central Bank Digital Currency. In America, the nickname for our CBDC is the Fed coin. Now, according to Investopedia, a central bank digital currency is a digital token similar to cryptocurrency created by a central bank. So last month, the Cato Institute released a survey that they did to determine the popularity of CBDCs. So I'm going to hit the highlights of that survey. So throughout the population, only 49% of the people they surveyed in America actually even knew what a CBDC was. Of the remaining half, only 16% supported the idea of a CBDC, whereas 34% opposed it. Okay, so obviously the people don't want this, at least those who know about it, right? Let's take a little closer look at the breakdown. Okay, so pay attention to this yellow bar here in the middle, because those are the people who oppose it. Amongst all people, 34% opposed it. Among Democrats, it was an even split, 22% supported, 22% opposed. And by the way, if you notice, the Democrats seem to be much less informed. They're pretty stupid compared to, the general population. Among independents, it was 27% opposed and 14% supported. And among Republicans, it was 53% opposed versus 11% supported. So generally speaking, the Republicans hate CBDCs quite a bit more than Democrats do. I wonder why. Could it be because liberals in general like the idea of being able to control your life? I think there might be something to that. If you look generally speaking, let's take a look at the way the Democrats and the liberals have been treating, the crypto space. Because cryptos is a space where you seek your freedom, right? Where you seek to do your business and to live your life outside of the traditional monetary system. The Democrats' war on crypto will lose its key voters, Winklevoss twins. This is an interesting point, right? Because the demographic that is most likely to be in the crypto space are the younger generations, right? Because they're more familiar with this crypto stuff. So they like their cryptos. And the fact that the Democrats attacking cryptos so aggressively, boy, they might alienate a very important demographic. That's an important consideration in elections going forward, for the Democrats. Okay, so we know that the general population as a whole do not want these CBDCs. So who does? Now, we know that those who control the money control the world, and that's what this is about. Central bank digital currencies will be held by the Federal Reserve. They'll be administered by the Fed. So this is one way of getting rid of the smaller to medium banks. There's going to be much more consolidation in the banking industry, and that's what they want. They want to reduce and limit your choices. So what they have to do is get you off of your cash. They don't want you using cash anymore. That's what all these central banks need to do. They need to wean you off cash so that you are dependent and reliant on their little digital currency. And among other places, we saw it in Nigeria. Nigeria limits cash withdrawals to $45 per day in CBDC digital banking push. And actually, it's finally starting to work in Nigeria. People are starting to move toward their CBDC because they have to. That's the only way they can live their lives. And of course, our Federal Reserve here in America are going to be doing the same thing. They're going to have everybody opening up accounts at the Fed Now. Everyone's going to have a Fed Now account. And so it's going to be much easier to create bank runs with this Fed Now because you can just wire your money straight into the Federal Reserve. This is an attack on the traditional monetary system because they want you to have as little freedom as possible. So who wants CBDCs? Well, it's not the populace, it's the government. It's the central banks. And why do they want CBDCs? Because they want to control what you can spend your money on. They want to see what you're spending your money on, and they want to control what you can spend your money on. Also, when they want to get taxes out of you, they'll just take it right out of your Fed Now account. When you need to be punished for a bad tweet or a bad social media post that they don't like, they'll just fine you through your Fed Now account. And that's my little report for the day.
All right, sorry, I was mucking around with the stream there, and it wasn't quite working for me. Scary stuff, man. How they want you to open an account at the Federal Reserve, and that will become the norm. That will become the usual thing that they're looking for. Do you really think that that's going to happen? How far away are we from something like that?
Well, that's it, right? This is why I want to do this report, even though we've talked about it a lot. It's coming up fast, man.
Faster than you think, hey? It's like it seems like it'll be years away, but it's not.
Well, no, it's supposed to be in July. It's supposed to be next month. Now, my guess is they're gonna launch it stealthily, right? It's not gonna be a big, because half the people out there still don't even know what it even is. So it's gonna happen stealthily. And they're going to use that carrot and stick approach. They're going to it'll be a combination of, hey, open up a Fed, we'll give you 1,000 free, Fed coins.
We'll give you a hamburger if you inject something into your body.
There you go. Right? That's right.
What the hell is wrong with these people, man? It's crazy.
Right. Yeah. And of course, the sticks would be things like you want to buy that gas guzzling car. And then not unless you're willing to do it with CBDCs, or there are certain things you won't be able to do with cash anymore. We've already seen it. Businesses, it's already hard to do live your life purely with cash these days. I mean, you told me stories where you've gone to merchants and they don't accept cash anymore, right?
It simply says a piece of paper that says we don't accept cash.
Right.
But actually, I don't think they're allowed to do that. I think that's actually against Australian law for them to say that, because it's legal tender, right?
Yeah. So legally, but When was the last time you saw the government sue a business for not accepting cash?
Yeah, never.
No. Yeah. I mean, constitutionally, the Federal Reserve is not supposed to be allowed to have retail accounts,
Mm.
but they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's just a very, very strange system that we live in. I want to just dig out a video file here that I created the other day because I think it's completely relevant to what we're talking about. And, you know, one of the things that seems to be happening over the